So my name is Tina Gillies, and as I mentioned earlier, I was a physiotherapist for 16 years. Feel happy to pin the speaker. Let's see if I can pin me. If I do that, am I big on everyone's screen or just on my screen? Anyway, I don't need to be big on everyone's screen at all. Do what you wish. You can pin the speaker if it makes it easier for you. So was a physiotherapist for 16 years. And then I stumbled upon Forever products, started using them in my clinic. And after 18 months, my income from Forever had exceeded what I could earn as a private physiotherapist. My back was getting worse as everyone else's was getting better. Loved what I did, but I knew it was time for change. The kids were 2 and 7, and I knew that not far away I was going to become a single parent. Nothing traumatic other than how traumatic it can be after 20 years with someone to separate. Amicable separations are still very, very stressful. So the timing was right for me to make that career change. Some people thought I was mad. You've spent all this time learning to become a physiotherapist, all this experience, why would you throw that away? But I don't see it as throwing away. I'm just trying to control this dog still. I don't see it as throwing all of that away. I see it as using the skills that I learned as a physio and just transferring them into the sector that I'm now in. So I'm not actually going to talk about what I do or Forever or the products or anything like that. I'm actually going to talk about something that I found really, really useful in my business and personal life. That hopefully will help everyone else as well. Now, I did do another session on this a few months ago, and a lot of the information is from a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear, which I would highly recommend you get on audio or paper book, whatever you want to, whatever you respond better to. I've been listening to it in the car, chapter a day, and I absolutely love it. So let me I've made a few notes, otherwise I would just talk waffle at you. So when I spoke last time, I went over, I don't know if this was recorded or not, but it doesn't really matter. This, it's all quite sort of very straightforward stuff. And it's almost a bit like, well, of course, I know that. But sometimes it's just seeing things in black and white or hearing them. And so a habit is a behavior that's been repeated enough times to become automatic. So we don't think about them, we just do them. You might be a little bit hungry, you grab for a biscuit rather than thinking, what do I actually want to do? You're a little bit tired, rather than thinking, why am I tired? Actually, I just need a bit of fresh air. You think, oh, I'll just put my head down and nod off. So the ultimate purpose of habits is to solve the problems in life with as little energy and effort as possible. So it's a bit like going back to the kind of caveman days. It's something that's in there. It's not a conscious thing. So the first section of the book that I went through last time was about, if you want better results, forget about setting goals, because it's not just about goals. It's all about putting systems in place. Okay, so I'm not going to go over that today because we spoke about that last time. So I'm just letting the dog out. But it's all well and good to have goals. If your systems aren't in place to allow you to do the activity to reach the goal, then you're less likely to achieve your goals. But what's also then important are your habits. And the thing that is dictating your habits is your beliefs. So when you've repeated a story to yourself for years and years and years, and everybody does this, however much kind of therapy or anything you have, there are things in here that we are reverting back to, maybe something that happened in childhood, something we were told, and we go into these like mental grooves of the story that we've told ourselves. So it might be, oh, I'm unorganized. Oh, I'm always late. Oh, I'm not very good at X, Y, or Z. And over time, you begin to accept them as fact. And what then happens from that is that you resist doing certain other actions because that doesn't fit with that person that you've told yourself that you are. And it's almost like an internal pressure to maintain that self-image of, oh, I'm not very organized, so I can't possibly wake up each day and be organized. Okay, the brain is such a powerful thing, and it controls us rather than us control our subconscious brain, which is, if you imagine an iceberg, the 1/7 at the top is the things that you think about, the things that you consciously decide to do, and 6/7, like the big part of the iceberg, is your subconscious, your unconscious brain, and it's that part that is controlling your beliefs and your habits. So the deeper a thought or action is tied to your identity, the more difficult it is to change. So if you tell yourself you're unorganized and you're unfit, you've never liked exercise, then it's going to be harder to change because you're just repeating those thoughts. And it can also be very uncomfortable to think about change. So good habits can make total sense to you. You can see that a goal will be more achievable if you change that habit. But if deep inside here, you don't fit the person that would have that habit, then you're not going to change that habit. So it's not just about having, an idea to change a habit. Okay. So what the book says is that the most effective way to change your habit is not focus on what you want to achieve, but on who you wish to become. So if you've got a goal in life or your business, why do you have that goal? Why is it important to you? Who do you need to become to achieve that goal? Now, it's not a whole personality change. It's not you've got to become somebody completely different. It's not got to be that you've got to become like somebody but that can be quite a good thing to do, is kind of model your behavior on someone that is already successful in whatever you're looking to achieve. But you need to become the best version of you. And this can be difficult. It's not a quick fix, because you've got to continuously edit your beliefs, those things that are in there, those grooves that you fitted into, and you have to kind of upgrade and expand your identity. So it's not about becoming someone else. It's about adding into who you are. Okay. And I really, really like the book, because it explains how the real reason habits are important isn't because they get you better results. They will get you the better results, but by building better habits, they can actually change your beliefs about yourself. Okay. So it's a bit like an onion. The first layer is changing your outcomes. So this could be, you want to run a race. Okay. So that's the kind of outcome. And most people set their goals on outcomes. I want to achieve an incentive. I want to earn an amount of money, etc. That's the very outside of the onion. And then the second layer in is changing what you do. So your systems and processes. So change the habits, the things that you do. So it might be that the outside one is, I want to get fit, I want to run a marathon. Then the next layer in is actually implementing that new routine of maybe going to the gym, doing the exercise that you're going to do each week. But then the third and deepest layer, and this is where long-lasting change will happen, is changing your identity, what you feel and believe about yourself. So rather than you are an unfit, unorganized person that wants to get unorganized and start running, you are becoming a fitter person. You are a fit person. You're just not there yet. So then your beliefs, your actions, all of those tasks that you do are going to fit with that. And it's a much easier way of building habits. Okay. So decide the type of person that you want to be, and then put things in place to show yourself that you can be that person. And you prove it to yourself with little wins. So I'm somebody that's getting fit. I'm somebody that is fit. And you go for a 5-minute walk, and that fits with the new person that you are growing into. I want to become fit. I want to learn how to do X, Y, Z. I want to run, but I've spent all day sitting on the sofa. You've just proved yourself wrong. You've lost. Again, you go back to those beliefs that you had before. Okay. So I've got 2 minutes. So I'm just going to pop up a quick slide. And these are really, really basic. I don't know if I can do this actually. Yes, I can. There we go. So you know that's me. So there's 4 stages of a habit. Okay. So there's the cue. And I'm going to go through these a little bit in a minute, but I wanted you to have that kind of visual. So there's the cue that triggers it. There's the craving. Okay, why is that habit kind of appealing to you? There's then the response, and then there's the reward. Okay. Did you see that at all? No, it didn't come up, did it? Is that there now? It's little though, isn't it? That really annoys me. There we go. Can you see that? But what actually happens is this 4 stages of a habit is actually a cycle, and you don't just go along and stop. You go round and round and round, and everything you do every day fits into this. Okay, so cue, craving, response, reward. I'm just going to move that and stop sharing my screen, and I'll just explain briefly for 1 minute why this is, this is a problem to us. So the cue triggers your brain, and that initiates the behavior. Okay, so it's that little bit of the cue that again goes back to sort of caveman times, where there's a cue. So it might be something's on the telly, it's a cake, or Dill talks about her cakes, that makes you crave something to eat. Okay. And they can differ from person to person. Okay. But then once you've got the craving, how are you going to respond to that craving? Okay. So that could be, oh, I'm just going to go and grab a cake. Then you eat the cake and the reward is, oh, you feel really good. You get a little sugar rush. Okay. And we've all been there. Okay. So it's a feedback loop, and it's an endless cycle. It's running every moment you're alive. Okay. And it's continually scanning the environment for cues. Okay. And you can't stop the cues. Okay. But what you can do is change things. Okay. So I'm going to finish off. I know I'm nearly at the end of time, but I'm just going to give you the breakdown very quickly of how to create a good habit. Okay. So you've got your cue. So if you want a new habit, you've got to give yourself a new cue and make it as obvious and blatant as you can. All right. Now we have gone over time, so we won't do this as an activity, but maybe I'll put it in the group. So find something that you want to build a good habit on, and find yourself a really, really obvious cue. So if it is that you want to go running more, put a big poster up of, I'm going to run, I'm going to get fit, and literally put it on your front door. Okay. Then the craving part, you've got to make it attractive. All right. So go and get yourself a nice new pair of running shoes or some gym kit, or, put a picture next to that of, how you're going to feel once you've done the run. So make the craving attractive. The response, make it as easy as possible. Okay. So don't tell yourself you're going to run 10 miles. Tell yourself you're going to run for 2 minutes. Okay. So make it as easy as possible. And then give yourself a reward, make it satisfying. So to create a good habit, make an obvious cue, an attractive craving, a really, really easy response, and a satisfying reward. And to break or remove a habit, you just do the opposite. If there's cues sending you to the fridge, turn the telly off when the adverts come on. Okay. Make the craving unattractive, put something on the fridge, that just says, like, you don't need this, or, this isn't necessarily a good example, but let's say with the running. Okay. So if you want to run and you want to stop using your car because you see your car as a bad habit, it's costing you money. Okay. Park your car farther away from the house. Okay. So you're not going to open the door and automatically just get in the car before you've thought about it. Okay. Make it unattractive. Stick a sticker on your petrol nozzle, not your nozzle, where the thing petrol goes in, telling yourself how much it's going to cost you to just drive around the corner. Make it difficult. Hide your car keys. Okay. And then make it unsatisfying if you do get in the car. Not quite sure how you're going to do that. Okay. So how can you make it obvious? How can you make it attractive? How can you make it easy? And how can you make it satisfying? Reduce the resistance for new habits and increase the resistance for the habits that you want to get rid of. There's so much more I could say, but I'm going to leave it there. Does anybody have any questions at all? All good. Oh, go Dill.
Have you actually tried it yourself on anything?
Yes, I have. And it's quite funny that the things I've tried it on, well, not funny, but you're going to think this is weird, but it's changed my day. Okay. So this is a really weird example. So picking up dog poo. All right. I'd got into a bad habit. The dog might go out late at night or first thing in the mornings. There could be like 2 poos out there. And I'd think, I'll do that when I get back from the school run. Okay. Oh, I've run out of bags. They're in the garage. I've got to go and get them. Oh my God. And there were all these kind of reasons and resistances. So about a week ago, I got the poo bags out the garage. Okay. So they're right just here on my unit in front of the television that goes straight into the garden. And I get up and the cue for me is literally, I leave the blinds open rather than shutting these blinds at night. I leave the blinds open. So when I come down, it's there. And I think, right, I'm going to do it. There's no craving involved, obviously. Don't know what that part is, but I've been going out, picking it up, putting it in the poo bin around the side of the house. And by doing that, and this is something so small, I feel, I can't even believe I'm using this as an example. There probably were better ones that then come on top of that, because the next part of the book's about habit stacking. So once you alter one thing, you then go on to other things, which I have done as well. But this is the first part of my day. I've done that. I feel better. I feel like I'm organized already. And I have for 49 and 11, 12 years been telling myself I'm an unorganized person. But by doing that, I'm like, oh, I'm organized. So literally something as minimal, and, I probably wouldn't use this in a public forum of, and we have stopped. No, we're still recording. Wonderful. Lovely. No, it's fine. It's fine. No problem. Yes, so I have put it into practice. And the other thing is, I've been driving my daughter into town to the bus stop because there was a problem with the buses into town. And by changing a few things with regards to that, I'm starting my day at 8 o'clock in the morning rather than 9:30, which is when I used to start before. So it's again, the habits are stacking up, and it's made a massive, and I'm ready for bed then at 10 o'clock. And you all know that my bad habit from before was staying up too late. So by doing these things in the morning, it's had a big knock-on effect. Thanks, Dill.